Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Thank you for being here. You're onto the Civilized Presence. Just give us 2 minutes so that Facebook can get this video perfect. And I just want to be able to share this video on my page and on my personal page and on our guests, special guests page. 1 second. So, Mr. Tolson, I have it on your page now. And yes, please. And I'm just going to share it. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, we are very early today because Mr. Tolson is in the house. And when he's here, you have to be early. Good morning. Thank you. Hello, Morel from London, UK. Thank you so much for being here. It's so great to see you, my friends. Thank you for being here. Okay. Yes, great. Perfect.
That'll make it easier on you. No, I'm right here anyway.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? And if there's anyone who cannot hear me, just let me know, please. If you can hear me, just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us this morning. It is such a wonderful Friday morning and the weather is getting chilly and cold, so I'm excited. The heat is gone, but it's different from Mr. Tolson because it is hot over there. But we are all grateful. It doesn't matter what part of the world that we're in. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Good morning. Yes, you're welcome to the Civilized Presence. I know that there's a bit of a noise at my background, but I hope that it's going to get better in a couple of minutes. So, if this is your very first time for being with us, we are here every Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, when we started, it was a different time, but we're trying to switch it back to 8 a.m. just to see if it's going to help with the timing because this program is really for you. And so we're very concerned about our audience and if they're able to enjoy it, and of course, if the time works for them. So just so you know, we might be bringing up a live poll today. I've never had this before, but it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. It's a new feature that we have for a live poll. So I think that because of the topic of today, it would be nice to have the live poll. Everyone has worked with a realtor or broker before, an agent. At least I want to believe that you live in a home. So you must have worked with one. So I believe that it's something that everyone has to share about the topic of today. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Now, this is session number 54, and I am so grateful to God that we've come this far. We started in the month of April 26th to be very precise. And we've been paddling along and it's just been working out. So, for those of you who have never met me, my name is Louisa Akaiso, and I am a certified master civility trainer, a golden rule civility statesman, and a leadership expert. And I work confidently with leaders and professionals that place great importance in themselves and their reputation. And of course, that's going to be you this morning because you made out time to be here. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Now, the main focus of this Facebook series really is to help restore civility in our community, in our society, everywhere around you, school, work, everywhere, in your homes. And we've been doing this through meaningful and constructive conversation, and it has been fun because I've gotten to work with a lot of experts and professionals in different parts of the world, different industries, just kind of teaching us how important and easy and how the steps that they've used to foster civility and why it is so important. Now, and if you are here this morning or you're joining us on a replay and you're asking yourself, but I've never been civil before, that's okay because it's always a first time and you can begin right after the show. And this is why you have to hang out with me every Mondays and Fridays. There's always something for you to take back and be able to use in your home or with the people around you. But I just want to say that this morning you can begin with saying please and thank you. or even good morning, or just share a great compliment. Good morning, Tina. Thank you so much for being here. Just like I'm going to do now to Mr. Tolson. I said, Mr. Tolson, thank you so much for being here. It's so great to have you in the house.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So it's always a good place to start. And you're going to get to learn about how easy you can just adopt this and just do the same thing. It's nothing that is complicated. It's very easy. So just hang on tight with me and maybe grab your glass of water, a cup of coffee, and a paper, because there's always going to be notes when we have Mr. Tolson in the house. So,
Right.
yes, guys, I am so excited. So, this is the Civilized Presence. Hello, Asa from Nigeria. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Izzy from Canada. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Samuel. Hello, Charles. I can see that you're jumping on. Hello, Izir. Thank you for being here. Hello, Raha. I hope I got the pronunciation of your name right, but if I did not, I just want to let you know that I love you so much and thank you for being here. This is the Civilized Presence, and you're in the right place at the right time. So just hang on with us for the next 30 minutes, because we're gonna be sharing some really hot nuggets, hot that you've never heard before. What is gonna help you work successfully the next time you're about to maybe work with a realtor, an agent, or anyone around you? You will learn something this morning. So I'll begin by sharing a definition of civility. And I've chosen the one from Civility Experts because I'm an affiliate with Civility Experts International. And it is that civility is a conscious awareness of the impact of one's thoughts, actions, words, and intentions on others, combined with a continuous acknowledgement. Mr. Tolson, I don't know if that noise is from you. I'm so sorry, but it's gone away now. A
Okay.
continuous acknowledgement of one's responsibility to ease the experience of others, example through restraint, kindness, non judgment, respect, and courtesy, and a consistent effort to adopt and exhibit civil behavior as a non negotiable point of one's character. Yes, guys, it is non negotiable. And I know that you're saying, Louisa, this is a mouthful. But yes, we're going to break it down for you to take it back easy, tiny steps. So, what I want you to take away from this program is that civility is focused on positive people's treatment, learning to pay attention to others, apologize honestly if you have to, and that it is your responsibility to continuously ease the experience of the person next to you. So, guys, this show is not about me. It's We have a special guest in the house, and I know you're asking who is here. So, our guest for today is Mr. Tolson, Donald D. Tolson Sr. And Mr. Tolson has a heart for motivating, encouraging, and inspiring others to conquer their fears and discover their God given passion, power, purpose, and possibilities. He is a renowned motivational speaker, coach, trainer, author, and a real estate advisor. He has appeared as a special guest on several television networks and has sponsored several paid motivational speaking events. And I just want to say, welcome, Mr. Tolson. So, over to you. Can you just say hello to the audience?
Thank you. I just wanted to say hello to everyone. God bless you, and I'm praying that you are having a blessed and enjoyable day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, as a motivational speaker, Mr. Tolson Sr. delivers high energy messages which tells people how to shake off mediocrity and live up to their true potential. Mr. Tolson is the right leader for the 21st century because he's talking about change. Really, Mr. Tolson, I am so blessed to have you here this morning. I'm so honored to get a chance to have this chat about civility and why it's so important to apply this in your industry. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank
So
you.
how this works usually is that we're just going to get started with questions and get the conversation started. Of course, when we have questions from the audience, I will be happy to share it back to you. So, Mr. Tolson, my very first question for you this morning would be, what does civility mean to you, and why is it so important to be civil? Over to you, Mr. Tolson.
Thank you. What it means to me is basically just being kind, I know right now there's a cloud over our nation, and I think right now it's very critical that we learn to be civil. If we watch the news media, if we watch our daily lives, if we watch what's going on at our jobs, within our homes, within our schools, there has been a decline in just being civil, just being kind to each other. And I think it has become a lost art. You know, when I was growing up, we were always taught to get up in the morning. You would say hello. You would say good morning. But now it seems that that has become a lost art. We see it every day on our streets, in our schools, in our homes, and it's something that I feel that we really need to get back to. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Being kind is very important, and this is what we preach on every single day, every Mondays and Fridays, just teaching people how it's so important to be kind. Hello, Jiva from Malaysia. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Sandra. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Delby. Thank you so much for being here. So, guys, just do me a favor by jumping into the comment box below and just let us know where you're joining us from. Give us a heart, a love, and that is very important to us, and it means so much to us. And also, when you do that, Facebook will be able to share this video and make it available and easily accessible to a lot more people who, of course, will be blessed by this message. So do us a favor, just give us some heart, give us some thumbs up. And Morel, thank you so much for all the hearts. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Jiva, for the heart and love that you're sending to us all the way from Malaysia, and for staying up at night to be here with us. This just shows us that and encourages us to do this even more, and that this message is very important. So, guys, can you just share this? Take a moment, share this on your page. This is a topic that affects everyone. Everyone has worked with a realtor. Everyone has worked with an agent. Everyone has worked with a broker. As long as you are living in a home, in a house, I want to believe that you are living in a house and you're watching me from a house, or you have a roof over your head. It doesn't even matter if it's in your office, but you must have worked with some kind of agent or realtor or broker. You've spoken to somebody about leasing a property or renting or buying or selling something. So this is a topic that everyone has to be involved. So do us a favor. Can you please just share this on your page? Take a moment and just share this on your page. We're going to add a poll here, and we're going to make this very interactive and ask a lot of questions. Throw it back to you. Let's just have fun with this, guys. So thank you again for being here. So, Mr. Tolson, our father of civility, which is Dr. Forney, kind of states that civility embraces the fundamental principles of respect, self-restraint, personal responsibility. And of course, this involves consistent, mindful, everyday behaviors that recognize the humanity and the worth in every human being, regardless of race, creed, or station in life. And that kind of just makes me feel good that, that the person next to you really does pay attention to what's happening to you. And I know that this is new to a lot of us, but this is why we're sharing this message and just, keep talking about it. And hopefully that people are taking it on and just, changing their lifestyle and their way of doing things and trying to be civil to the next person. And just doing that without expecting anything in return, but just because people are human. Now, the topic of today, guys, really is civility and professionalism in the real estate industry. I thought this was so great because I've had some very interesting experience myself. So I was so happy and excited to bring Mr. Tolson in the
Thank you.
house. Yes. Now, Mr. Tolson, there's something I really want us to kind of really break this down. And we're going to have to go a little bit dirty today and just deal with some great things about the industry. Because I know people have had horrible experiences, they've had great experiences. Right now, I'm working with an agent who is wonderful, but I've also worked with one who was like, oh my goodness, why is he doing this to me? But I think we're going to learn a better way to work with them and just kind of maintain a great relationship. And guys, realtors and brokers or agents or whatever you call them, the term that you use depending on what part of the world that you're in, means exactly the same thing. You're working with people who are interested in acquiring a property or selling a property or something, get some kind of information. Now, they are entrepreneurs as far as I'm concerned. Because they are entrepreneurs, it's very important for them to create the right experience and relationship with the people that they work with. Now, Mr. Tolson, can you explain to our audience why civility kind of will affect the kind of relationships that they build or experiences that their clients get, and why it is so important for realtors or brokers or agents to be civil? Over to you, Mr. Tolson.
Okay, thank you, thank you. One of the reasons that I actually entered this market is basically because I have always been told that realtors are some of the happiest people in the world. Can you see the smile on my face? Yes, that's why I basically came into this industry, and it's basically because I love being around positive people, people that are doing things.
Mm,
One of the companies that I chose to work with was Ingalls and Brokers because I love their theme, and we always tell people I love what I do, and I think that is so important. You know, as a realtor, what we do is a lot of times, you know, we go to work, we chart our course, and we set sail off into things that are unknown for that day, seeking out those buyers and sellers and those that have needs. So, but as a broker, as I stated earlier, it is a lost art. A lot of times, what get lost is the fact that the realtors they start looking at themselves. What can I gain versus how can I serve my customer or my
mm,
client? And when they take their focus off of their client and they put it on themselves, how much can I make? How much can I gain from this transaction? Then they're no longer looking at the customer, but they're looking at themselves. So what has to happen is that they will need to shift their focus back on their customer. How can I serve them? Because you have to realize that they are a servant. Because without that client, then they would have no business. So
wow,
there has to be a shift in focus back on the customer, the client, because you want to build that relationship. Because what's going to happen is that that customer, if they have a bad experience with you as a broker or as a realtor, what's going to happen is that the word is going to get out.
mm,
I don't know what part of the world everyone is from, but that word is going to get out, and they're going to be, don't use that realtor. I had a bad experience. He sent me a buyer that was not qualified. He showed my home. I asked him to take the shoes off, and I came back, and my house was just horrible. So it's about building relationships with your client, putting them first, and being civil. Just being civil, just being nice and kind to your customer.
right,
Uh,
right.
yes, yes. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Akuswar. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Singh, for joining us. I just kind of see people jumping in from everywhere, and I really appreciate you guys for being here. So, guys, we're just going to add this poll on. Now, the poll, if my question that I'm going to put on the poll is: have you had a bad experience with a realtor? A bad experience. Guys, just give me a moment. With a realtor before. Yes, so we just created that poll. We started a live poll, guys, and um, so it's gonna be the answers will be yes or no. There you go. So we're starting off a live poll, and just let us know. The live poll is on. Let us know if you've had a terrible experience. Let us know. We want to talk about it. We want to share your pain in this session. It's the first time we're putting a poll here, and I think it's just going to be fun. So I'm sure you're going to see that pop up, but let us know. Have you had a terrible experience before? Let us know about this. Okay, so back to you, Mr. Tolson. Now, something that I have experienced personally is that sometimes you're working with one realtor, okay, and he could not get maybe the right property for you or what you're looking for, or he just couldn't meet your needs, or maybe there wasn't an understanding. And then you try to get somebody else who has exactly what you're looking for. The next question is, were you working with someone before? And the moment you say yes, ooh, things begin to go down south. Wow.
Yes, yes.
So, and
Um,
that kind of troubles me because I'm wondering, why can't we work together to make the client happy? I understand, I'm thinking, I'm just kind of assuming here, and of course you're going to correct me. Maybe it has to do with percentages, or you're going to have to pay an agency fee, or because someone feels I'm not going to be paid, so I can't do the job. But I thought customers are always first. So what is really the main reason? What is a great cause of this loss of, this kind of professional courtesy amongst peers in the real estate business? Over to you, Mr. Tolson.
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question because the thing is, like I stated earlier, it's a lost art. And what has happened among the peers now with customers, we share a different focus because we do want to meet their needs. The problem that I'm finding is from peer to peer. It's going from realtor to realtor. And the sad thing about it is that a lot of times, if you're working with that realtor online, because a lot of times we don't really meet until we actually get to the closing. But a lot of times what we find is that there's a lot of cyber bullying going on. Now, I know that we all want to get the best deal for our customers and our clients, but I came in contact with some realtors who have actually went to the lowest of the low just so that they can uh, try to get the best deal for their customer. Now the thing is that what I told one realtor, I said that you don't have to go to such low levels in order to get the best deal. I'm gonna share a story with you. I had this one situation whereas that my sellers, they were selling their home, they needed to move by a certain date because they needed to get their kids registered at school, and they needed to get started on their new job in a different state. And what happened is that after we agreed to give the buyer this contract, see, up until they get the contract, they're very civil. It's after they get the contract that's when everything starts happening. Now, what took place is that the buyer, they came back later and said, "Well, can we close on this deal in 60 days?" And I said, "No." I said, as I explained to you when we went into the contract, is that my buyer needs to be at a certain location at a certain time. And the moment I said that, the realtor he just went crazy. He just started going off and he said that I've been doing this for over 40 plus years. I've never heard of anything like that. And he just started having a temper tantrum. I was like, wow, it caught me off guard. But the biggest challenges that I have faced is just working with other realtors. It seems that they puff their chest out, they try to belittle you and make you feel smaller just so that they can get the deal. Now, this is not. This is going to shock some people. This is not coming from the new realtors that are just entering into the industry. This is coming from older, more experienced realtors. I don't know if they feel that they have earned the right to not to be civil to other realtors. Maybe they earn that right and that they should get what they want. But it gets really bad. It's a lot of things that the customer do not see and do not need to see. But behind closed doors, some realtors, especially the older realtors, can not all, but some of the older realtors can be very uncivil just to get their way.
Thank you so much. And
Okay,
welcome,
question.
Sukat. Yes, absolutely. Welcome, Sukat, to the call. Thank you so much. Welcome, Dave. Welcome, Marina. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, Usema. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, Etigidi. Like I'm so sorry if I do not pronounce this right, but thank you for making out time to be here. This is so important to us. And you are onto the civilized presence. For those of you who have never been here before, yes, the topic of today is really talking about professionalism and civility in the real estate business. So if you do have a question, pop it in the comment box below. We're happy to work with you on this question. And we also have a live poll right now that we put on the screen. You should have an access to be able to say yes or no to the poll. And I want as much people to let us know, have you ever had a bad experience or a good experience? Let us know, yes or no. Has it been a bad experience? Has it been a good experience with a realtor? And why do you think it was a bad experience? What do you think could have been done differently? Did it make you run away? Did they lose your business just because someone wasn't treating you the right way? We want to talk about it. We're happy to discuss that. That is the topic of today. We're all going to learn from this. And we have Mr. Tolson in the house. He is the best person
Thank
to
you.
educate us on this topic. He has been doing this for so many years, guys. He trains a lot of people to be their best in this industry. So if there's anyone to learn from, it is Mr. Tolson. So you want to come in on time and bring your question before he leaves. Now, Mr. Tolson, over to you, and thank you so much for responding. So great. So now I do, from what I'm hearing, and I know, of course, I do know that there are very strict standards in the real estate industry. Very strict standards. That's what, and so, but people are still reporting that there's so much incivility, you know and
Yes.
I totally understand that, of course, the process of getting the client, of sealing up the deal, can be very stressful, especially when you're working with a client who is finding it difficult to make up their mind. It can be very frustrating. I understand, but I also want you to know that, of course, the clients have not been educated to be clients.
Right.
They just kind of wake up with their money and they want to buy, they want to rent, they
Yes.
want to do anything, they want to lease. But the realtor has gone through so much certifications to become a realtor.
Yeah.
So, and this is why I am holding the realtors and the brokers on their neck and I say, you should be the one to make sure that you put things under control,
Yes.
because the client, of course, can be waking up from the wrong side of the bed or just having a bad day. But it's still important that the realtors or the real estate professionals, whether it's an agent or a broker, because different countries have different names for it, it's important that we're able to practice and commit to civility. And of course, this is what is going to improve the performance, or during the deal. This is what is going to improve our experiences for our clients, and this is what is going to help us to have returning clients. Now, Mr. Tolson, now I just want you to kind of nail this back on, and I know you've spoken a lot about this, on how can we overcome a lot of these challenges using civility. What are steps that you've used that has worked for you and that you can share with other realtors or real estate professionals? Over to you, Mr. Tolson.
Thank you. One of the biggest problems that I have noticed over so many years is that a lot of times the realtor, they're not really listening to what their clients or their customer needs are. They're not listening to what they're actually asking for. A lot of times, they try to steer them into a certain area in which they cannot. For instance, let's say that if you're a person of Asian, if you're an Asian person, Chinese, or and what happens is that a lot of times they will try to steer you into, your ethnic group. If it's a area where it's predominantly black, for some reason, they'll try to show you homes in that certain area. For those that are white, or if they're within a social class, they try to show you homes within that certain areas. So I think one of the biggest things that is happening is that they're really not listening to their customers and their clients and what their needs are, or the type of home that they're actually looking for. So what happens is that once they start showing them a home within a certain neighborhood, within a certain price point, and it's not meeting their needs, what happens is that the customer, they begin to they get very frustrated because you're not meeting their needs and they're not comfortable.
Right.
Um, and that becomes a lot of challenge. And now it also happens after the sale also too, because a lot of times we feel that okay, we have closed the deal, and we, that's it. We move on to our customer. But a lot of times, what happens is that you get a lot more questions from your customer after the sale. There was one situation whereas that this customer, they purchased this home, and then after the fact they find out that the home needed a new roof, and they became very irate because this is thousands of dollars that they're going to have to pay after the sale. And when they come back as a realtor,
Mm.
why didn't you tell me? So it begins to go back and forth. And if the realtor had really met that customer need, did their due diligence and served their customer, then those things should not have happened. There are some nightmare stories where customers have just purchased properties and homes that they were just completely unhappy with, and a lot of times that burden falls or that blame falls back on the realtor because they needed to do their due diligence with the customer being the main focus.
Wow. Thank you so much for that contribution. Dr. Anna, thank you for being in the house. It's so great to have you here. And Amara, thank you so much for being here. Cynthia, thank you so much for being here. We have people from different places where we have the video being aired, and so I just have to try to. If I haven't mentioned your name, does not mean that you're not important to me. I love you very much. Thank you for making out time to be here. And let me just know if you can see the poll, because we have the live poll that's on right now, guys. And let us know if you can see the poll, if you had a bad experience before. And Dr. Orna says quality customer service for the clients. Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's correct, Dr. Orna. Yes, and that's very important. Yes, the topic of today is civility and professionalism. I think we have the noise again, Mr. Tolson.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. It's going to go
Not sure.
away. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
Yes. So if you're just joining us for the very first time, we are talking about civility and professionalism in the real estate business. Yes, it's so great to have you, Dr. Orna, in the house. Thank you for your support, sis. Thank you. So, yes, and why it is so, you cannot see the poll, I'm not sure. I have it right on my screen. I put it up, but I'm still new to the poll. I'm sorry. And we're still trying to work around with it. I'm not sure why this is not coming up, but I'm going to try again. So I really apologize if that's not working. I really apologize, and I would be happy to have another poll. So now, before the poll comes up, the question I would have for you is, have you had a bad experience before working with a realtor or a broker? And what was it like? What do you think should be changed? Leave the comment in the box below. What was the experience? What do you think should be changed? How do you think civility could have helped in making the experience a lot better? Did you feel like somebody was not treating you right? And I know how sometimes it feels like when we go out without, oh, you can see the poll. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Honor. I'm sorry, Jeever. The poll has to appear in Malaysia now. Right now, it has to. Thank you so much, sister. Please just have patience. It's going to be there. I'm sorry. And I'm happy that you want to be part of what we are doing. Thank you. Now, let us know in the comment box below. Have you had a bad experience? Have you had a good experience? If you've had a bad experience, what do you think should be changed? What was it? How did they make you feel? What should have made things different? Have you had a good experience? Share that with us. We're ready. We're here to learn. So
Yes.
back to you, Mr. Tolson. You mentioned cyberbullying in the real estate business. Can you just kind of expand on that to our viewers? Because that's pretty new to me and maybe to some people. Let us know. I know that cyberbullying exists, of course, but in the real estate business, can you talk a little bit more about that? Over to you.
Thank you. Yes, I know one of the, and it's a very big topic. One of the things is that we always teach our children to not get in a situation where you have been cyberbullied, and also that they should not do that. And it's a big topic within our country. But the thing is that, like I said, most of the time this happens among peers. Um, and it's funny, sometimes they feel that they have to puff their chest out, they have to, beat their chest to show that they're the bigger person. But cyberbullying, there's been situations whereas that children, young adults have actually taken their own life because of this very same topic. But among our peers, it's something that should not be happening. And what's happening is that we have lost that art of just being kind. And even though we're sitting at a keyboard and we're typing these thoughts and these things that should not be said on a keyboard, but yet, and we're not vocalizing it yet, but yet it's something that is happening within our industry. You don't have to feel that you're the bigger person. And a lot of times, what happens is that it's because they feel that they need to be heard, or they might feel that I need to work hard for my customer, so I'm going to belittle someone else just to get them what they want. But it's not necessary. You don't have to belittle someone else to be heard. Most of the time, things still don't go their way if they had just been very civil with the other realtor or with or with the client. Most likely, they probably would have gotten what they were asking for. But the fact that they went to such a low level, then no, we're not going to do what you want us to do. So
Thank you
there's
so
that.
much. I have a contribution from Dr. Orna. She says, I have had both good and bad. The difference was the attention to details and the level of concern that was given for my desires and my needs. Thank you so much, Dr. Orna, of course. And that's what we've been talking about, the experience and the relationship. It is very important. And, I've realized that some of the courses of incivility in the real estate business are really like, you know, declining buyer-seller relationships, or I could say lack of self-leadership, in the amongst those professionals, or lack of respect. People think that they were not treated fairly. So, Dr. Tolson, um, and I know that you've been doing a lot of programs and workshops and for people both in the industry and outside. So, what kind of programs do you think that we can use to educate people? Are they do you have any special tools that you can recommend for people that would be helpful and just to kind of help them build the right relationships, build the right reputation while working with their clients? Over to you, Mr. Tolson.
Thank you. One of the things that I wanted to stress is this. If you, at any point throughout the transaction, and if you're not happy with your realtor, you have a right to fire them. You can tell them that you're not very pleased with their service, you're not listening to me, you're not meeting my needs. You have a right to fire them. You do not have to stay in that relationship. I don't care if you're a buyer or if you're a seller looking to sell your home, and you feel that you signed the contract, you can fire them at any point. And I would say do that because the focus should be on you. From realtor to realtor, one of the things that we must do is that we must go to our board, our realtor board, and I think this is very critical because being a realtor, one of the things that we abide by is the code of ethics. It's the code of ethics. But within that code of ethics, it does not mention anything about being civil. So I think one of the things that we need to do is that as realtors, we need to go back to the board and say, you know what, this is a problem within our industry. It's something that we should take a hard look at, and I believe that other realtors should be educated on being civil. It doesn't take all of that bullying in order to get your point, to get what you want. So by going to the board and saying, hey, we need this course to be offered. It's a problem not only within our area, but it's a problem within our industry. So it's something that that course needs to be added as a requirement to getting their license. It should be added the same as the code of ethics is added in order to become a realtor. Civility also needs to be added, but not only in our industry, but I think in any profession that's out there, within every industry, is something that should be required. But I just want the listeners to know that if you're not happy with your realtor, then you do not have to put up with that. You do not have to, because you want to be happy. You want to move into your new home with a great experience. You don't want to have nightmares waking up in your new home and I can't stand that realtor. He did this to me. He caused me more money. This is not the home that we really wanted. We let him talk us into buying this home, and now we're not happy. And one of the key things is that if that realtor, if you receive a bad experience from that realtor, um, tell others, because they need to know that this realtor, he did me wrong. I was not pleased with his service.
Mm.
That's no, because others should not have to go through the same experience that you've been through. And mind you, like I said in the beginning, realtors are some of the happiest people on the planet. So they should be, you should be leaving there with a great experience.
Thank you so much. And
Thank
I have a
you.
personal question for you.
Mhm.
With the work that you're doing, because the relationship between the client and the realtor is really a win-win situation.
Yes,
The client wants to be happy, the realtor wants to be happy. He wants to be happy going to the bank, and the client wants to be happy to have a good home. You
right.
know, whether they're buying or selling. Now, have you had a terrible experience with a client before, and how did you get to work with that? How did you get to solve that? We would like to hear that. Over to you, Mr. Tolson.
Thank you. A lot of times, working with buyers, when you work with sellers, that there's a different client clientele when you're working with a seller versus working with the buyer. A lot of times, when you're working with a buyer, you put in a lot more work.
Mm,
One of the experience, well, many times, what I've experienced is that I've had buyers, they would come to me 2 years or 3 years prior to their purchase, and they would say, wow, I really want to purchase this home, but my credit, I'm not making the income that I need to purchase this home. So what we'll do, we'll put them in a program, whereas that you start working with their credit over a period of time. Their credit did not get in that situation overnight, and it's not going to just go away overnight. So we put them in a program. We start working with them to get their credit up to a certain level where they can qualify for a home loan. So once we get them to that point, working with them for about a year, and then when it's time for them to purchase, they decide to go with some other realtor, or they decide to purchase a new home, and they fail to tell the salesperson that they are working with a realtor, and after investing all of that time in getting them where they need to be, and then they rock it. They go with a friend who's a realtor, or they decide to go with a new home builder, and they fail to tell them that they're working with a realtor. And I would say that your time is lost, but you've gained a lot of experience uh, from that situation. And I think that's one of the things that the negative experience that I have had was to just be dropped after working with a customer for a period of time and getting them up to where they need to be.
Thank you for sharing that because I can imagine sometimes working one on one with clients, you have to be extremely patient, especially when people already have what they want.
Yes.
Sometimes we have the picture of our dream home in our brains and we're not even sure if it exists yet. But
Right.
yeah, but we want to get it. So it's so good to see that you're able to handle this. And even when you had a terrible client or a struggling client or a client who wasn't just so patient,
Yes.
just being able to pay attention to them and kind of listening to them. I think at that point it's important to turn on your listening skills because you just have to
Yes.
listen.
Mhm.
They could be having a bad day, they could come out with you for a tour, but they're having a bad day. So yes, definitely lack of respect from Dr. Honor. Yes, lack of respect is a big thing. It's a big thing, and sometimes it's difficult to manage that because we might, both sides might be coming from a not so good day, and then
Yes.
you bump together and then it hits up and it can get really messy. And so that's why it's just important to be civil because with civility, really, you're not doing it to get it in return. You're doing it because they're human. You're trying to apply human kindness at
Mhm.
that point. Yes, effective communication. Thank you so much, Dr. Orna. That is very important. Just really stating what is important, what you can do, what you can deliver, what is possible
Right.
is very important. And just being genuine and transparent and real, to the client because the clients are always going to hold you back to it. It's like, you said you're going to do this. You said you were going to do this. You told us this. You said this. And so if they feel like you're not delivering everything that you've promised, there is a huge problem there. And like you said, Mr. Tolson, they have a right to walk away. And can you imagine doing all the work and the person has to walk away and you're just going to lose your time, resources, money? That's not going to be
Yes.
pretty. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. We're at the top of the hour, a little bit over. And I just want to say thank you for making our time to be here. And we're back here again on Monday at 8 a.m., where we have another great topic. Now, if you had a question, you didn't have a chance to put it in here, or you're meeting us here on replay, or you just saw it on your friend's page, somebody just shared it to you, someone told you about the session, that's fine. You're in the right place. Hello, Juan from Malaysia. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. That is a master civility trainer from Malaysia. It's so good to have you in the house, Juan. I know it's late in Malaysia, but you made our time to be here. So thank you. So if you're just joining us right now, like Joanne, you can have access to this video on a replay. And also, we have a live poll. Yes, we've added a live poll. Every day, we're adding something new. And the question on the live poll was, have you had a bad experience with a realtor before? So go to the live poll and give us your response. We appreciate your response. And the second thing you would do is to come back to the comment box and just kind of leave in the comment box, what was this experience? Was it good? Was it bad? What can change? What do you think we should do? We want to learn and hear from you. Now, if you're meeting us here on a replay, that's fine. Don't get troubled. Leave your questions here and I will forward it to Mr. Tolson. And Mr. Solson, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here. It was so great working with you here. Hello, Teresa. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Akuswa. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Mami. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Christy. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Janet. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you I couldn't call your name, I really do appreciate you. Leave a comment in the box below. And of course, I will say hi to you personally because you're a VIP and I want to treat you as one. So thank you. Now, just before I go, it's important that I let you know that we have some trainings that are coming up. Here in Virginia, November the 26th, we're starting the Civility at Work certification program. So if you want to do what we do, I just want to learn about what we do, and I've had some emails and messages in my inbox. People are asking, Louisa, how can we be part of what you're doing? Yes, this is the time. Jump on in. Send me an email. My email is louisa at thecivilityacademy.com. And if you cannot send me an email, that's fine. Slide into my inbox and just say hello and that you're interested in the trainings that are coming up. We have another training at the start of the year in Dubai. Yes, for those of you who want a vacation at that time, you can join us in Dubai. And we have another training in Ghana, in Africa, and also in Nigeria. So I'm so excited. There's so much is happening. And Joanne, please let us know if you have a training in Malaysia coming up very soon. We'll be happy to share this in this session here. As we're here in the civilized presence. So, guys, I have to let you go, but I don't feel happy to let you go, but I'll be here again on Monday morning at 8 a.m. same time. And I'll be looking forward to see you at that time. So thank you so much for being here and have yourself a wonderful and fantastic weekend. Tell us about it. If you want to get on the show, send me an email as well. It's Louisa at the civilityacademy.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you.